Tonight was the night. Children had flooded the streets not long after the sun had set, dressed in all sorts of costumes and running up to houses, crying out "trick or treat" to anyone who opened their doors. The holiday had always been a favourite of Dean and his friends, and this year was going to be their biggest party yet. As he grabbed the final touches to his costume, as well as an intricately carved jack-o'-lantern, another tradition of his friends, his attention was drawn to the collection of candles flickering by the front door. A smile tugged at his lips, and he left. "Welcome to the biggest party of the year!" Luke, dressed as a vampire, exclaimed as he opened the door, quickly dropping the accent. "What took you so long, man? You're like the last one here. Did you lose the hat again?" he asked, flicking the cowboy hat on Dean's head. Admittedly, it was the costume he had gone with for the past few years. "Nah," Dean answered, holding up the jack-o'-lantern as his hat threatened to fall. "You know I suck at pumpkin carving. This is like my 4th attempt." Luke's eyes flicked to the pumpkin and he grinned. "Well, this one looks good. Definitely better than mine." He stepped aside. "Well, come on in. You know the drill." Dean made his way through Luke's large house, looking for a spot to leave his pumpkin, before finally joining the party. Music blasted out of the speakers scattered around as people dressed as all sorts of monsters and characters danced and drank. Dean nursed his drink, observing the crowd, noticing someone on the opposite wall, their face covered by a bright orange, cheap-looking mask, donning round blacked-out eyes and a wide, crooked grin. It looks like it could have been drawn on in marker. His gaze continued to wander before landing on Luke, who was deep in conversation with a girl wearing a pair of small angel wings and a halo. He offered her a piece of candy, and once accepted, he looked across the room, locking eyes with Dean before smiling, giving a quick nod. It was another tradition of sorts, the friend group passing out homemade candy to the, in their own opinion, best dressed. Dean had never successfully given out his own, though. He'd always been on the shy, awkward side, so even in the rare event he was able to offer it, he was usually interpreted as creepy and rejected. His friends didn't mind, fortunately. They were his only real link to the social world, so it was nice that they hadn't ditched him. He scanned the room, looking for someone, preferably on their own. It'd remove a lot of the pressure. His eyes landed on the alien away from the crowd, and as Dean walked over, his eyes locked again with the masked figure, giving him an almost imperceptible nod, and a chill ran through his body. The alien was nice. He had taken off his mask to talk, and his looks made Dean sweat. He was new in town, only happened to score an invite because he was in one of Luke's classes, and he was definitely flirting. But Dean's friends were all waiting on him, so though he wouldn't admit it, he did feel guilty offering the candy to the alien, who accepted it without question, and let Dean go with a "see you around" and a wink. He watched from afar as the alien popped the candy into his mouth, and he felt his jack-o'-lantern light up, somewhere in the house. His friends were nowhere to be seen, but he knew where to find them. Quietly, he slipped away from the party and made his way upstairs. The door at the end of the hall was ajar. A soft flickering could be seen through the crack. Inside, his friends stood in a circle, all wearing masks that matched their jack-o'-lanterns, which were scattered around, illuminating the room. The masked figure stood in the middle, holding onto a werewolf, his mouth gagged with cloth. "Did you manage to do it this time?" the figure asked, staring directly at Dean. "Yes," he responded, and the room erupted with cheers. "I knew you could do it," Luke spoke, handing Dean a mask of his own. "This is going to be the biggest party ever!" Luke returned to the circle, and Dean took a spot of his own. The whole group focused on their leader in the centre. "Brothers and sisters," he spoke. "Tonight is the night we will finally connect the two worlds." The werewolf struggled in his grip as he brandished an intricate knife, the blade glinting in the candlelight. "With this sacrifice it shall begin, and we shall finally see those we have lost." The werewolf struggled as the leader brought the blade to his neck, dragging it smoothly across. It cut easily through the costume fur that quickly became stained with blood, and soon after, the leader released him, and he crumpled to the floor. Screams echoed from downstairs, the poisoned candies having taken effect. The leader raised the knife and began reciting something in another language. The candlelight began to flicker before blowing out all at once, leaving the room in darkness as the leader finished the incantation. A moment of silence followed. They had all been expecting something to happen, but nothing did. "Did something go wrong?" one of the girls asked, before the sound of screaming filled the air, the noise coming from downstairs. "Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Seeing ghosts would surprise anyone, sure, but these screams seemed a bit excessive." "The lights," the leader said. "Turn the lights on." Dean, the closest, scrambled for the wall, feeling along for the light switch. The artificial light filled the room, and the group began pulling off their masks. "What's going on, Cody?" Luke asked, his attention on the leader. "You said it was going to work this year." Cody, now unmasked, seemed to lose his previous confidence. Well, it was probably Dean's fault again. He's the reason we haven't been able to complete the rituals before. What? Luke argued. It sure as hell seems like we've done something. The group fell into arguing, unsure of who to blame. Some decided it was once again Dean's fault, while others staunchly defended him. But as the fighting, backed by the screams from downstairs, continued, Dean was the only one who noticed it. Something that absolutely shouldn't be happening. The werewolf's body began to twitch.